Okay, The Devil's Chord. I genuinely don't know what to make of it or what to think of it, so let's go and dissect it. Hello, my name is Disney Miss Lizzie and welcome to the Devil's Chord review. Now, in my last review regarding Space Babies, I said I was a little bit nervous and excited about this one because it was going to feature the Beatles, and I am an enormous Beatle fan. But before we delve into that, let's first talk about the positives, because I think that's going to be quite short compared to the negatives that I had with the episode, which is really annoying because I really wanted to like it. So let's start with the positives whilst I grab my water. Hang on, we've got Oswald today. So positives. What was the positive? Positives. I loved the costume and the set designs were wonderful. I thought they were fabulous, and I loved the nods that they had to the Beatles. So when the Doctor and Ruby are walking across the Abbey Road zebra crossing, you also had a VW Beetle. That's also the same colour and make as the one that is featured on the Abbey Road album cover, and that is an extremely, for anyone who's interested in the Beatles, it's an extremely important album. So to have those little touches in and to have the little nods, it meant, it's going to sound a bit over the top to say it meant a great deal to me, but it did. It made me go, oh yeah, they've included that in. That's really, really cool. Maestro's outfit design, loved it. I loved the musical notes that they had up their neck. I thought it was a really nice touch. I also loved the set design and how much the colours looked quite similar to old 1960s films and photography. I'd say the only thing is that it was probably cleaner in regards to the absence of smoke, but obviously you can't put smoking in productions now, which I completely understand, but that's probably just, it's very clean. It's very clean. Ruby's speech about music I found to be quite resonant with myself. I'm a big music lover. To have a character that expresses that love that you have for music, and for the Doctor as well, to, music can convey words and emotions that maybe sometimes you can't express yourself, but music can do it for you. And I do feel that, yes, that is sort of music's role as an art form. So it was lovely to have that confirmation, not necessarily confirmation, but to have that sort of connection with Ruby and the Doctor, and to have that inkling with them as to how important the world of music is. It's a very important thing for me to be a part of. So I appreciated that. And I also loved the piece that Ruby played. I thought that was very well done, and with the old lady sitting back and then playing, she was playing Debussy, I think. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. But the music that she was playing, really well done. Very, very beautiful scene. Another thing that was odd but I appreciated was the musical number at the end, where there's always a twist. I can't remember the song or how the melody goes, but I thought it's something that I wasn't expecting, but I still loved it. It reminded me a lot of Hairspray. But Henry was in there. What was Henry doing there? Is he going to be our big bad, or he must be linked to the big bad, because Maestro referenced something as they went into the piano.
The one who waits is almost here.
I have to say, Maestro coming out of the piano, again, it's going back to that body horror type element, but I thought that was quite cool, the way they came out. I mean, hello. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, let's go on to the things that were a bit hit and miss for me. Maestro as a villain. Really trying to work out what it was that kind of hit the mark, because I loved the flamboyancy of it. They reminded me a lot of Ursula from The Little Mermaid, and that sort of "time here, darling." I loved that. I just don't know if they used the power correctly. I could see it working better if they had made music completely disappear They were still feeding, so Maestro would still be feeding off the musical notes, but the world would be turned silent. But the Doctor could produce the music in a sound bubble. So sort of similar to Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the episode The Hush, where it's completely silent. It's more or less a silent episode. I think they could have done that with this one and just altered the stuff, because that was an awesome scene where the Doctor made the world silent and Maestro's trying to pick out the sound. They're going along to the puddles, they're, trying to produce sound, but nothing's happening. And the visuals on that were spectacular, really well done. But I think they could have done so much more of that, and I think the sound could have been the Doctor's power. Rather than producing silence, he could have produced sound and to have that memento there. And I think that's where Maestro's power could have been, if they just made them silent and then the Doctor produces sound and they could have just said, "Oh, my voice." That's awful, by the way. that's my terrible operatic. But to then have them sort of explode, "Darling, I'm here. Oh, it's so good to sing," or something like that. I think that could have been better, and I think that could have been more powerful for them as a villain. I didn't like the musical notes coming out and wrapping themselves around Ruby and just coming out. I don't know what it was. It reminded me of the scribble from Fear Her, and that was one of my biggest pet peeves from that episode, is the giant scribble, and it reminded me of that, of just there's so much more I think they could have done with Maestro and with them as a character, and just explored a little bit more, because they're the toy makers' offspring from what I could see, and there's more to it. Unless this is the whole point of the episode, where there's so much more to you and it's going to, come to a satisfying conclusion later on. But we will see. For now, I'm a little bit, you just missed the benchmark there. You kind of missed the benchmark. They're kind of the main stickle points, and I've been trying to think, okay, what was it exactly that I didn't enjoy? What was it that I loved? Was it a hesitancy of the Beatles? Because I'm quite, oh my gosh, please treat their music with kindness. Okay, so the Beatles' role in it. Looks-wise, I'd say not. It fell on a little bit of a pastiche, but I thought the performances were well done, and the sort of sense of humour that the Beatles shared. Yeah, it would have been nice to have had George and Ringo, but obviously not that many people know that much about George and Ringo. It is mainly Paul and John, but it was nice that their music helped to defeat Maestro, and to see the notes and to see that come alive. I was expecting them to to explore some of the opening sounds, so maybe with the bang of the guitar against the amp, that and then so to have that opening popped in. Or it's reminded me a little bit of the end of A Day in the Life Of, where it's just coming to the end and it's before the reversed music where you have dun, 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 and then the sound reverberates. It reminded me a little bit of that, so I didn't know if they were paying homage to Sgt. Pepper. It was nice that the albums were listed. Some of the albums were listed. So you had the White Album referenced, Revolver, Lady Madonna. Hardly anyone remembers Lady Madonna, Children at Your Feet. So that was cool, because Penny Lane is obviously one of their more bigger hits, but to have Lady Madonna, I would say that's one of their lesser known ones, particularly as it's not really featured on any of their main albums. I think it's on like Past Masters Volume 1 or 2. So that was cool. It was nice to have those homages. Am I glad that they weren't an assistant? Probably. Or a companion. Probably, because it may have been a little bit, Paul, John, but then at the same time you could have made it a little bit like Yellow Submarine, and just, it's in this fantastical world, and then you know, they meet the blue meanies. I mean, that could be a thing, you know, because they are now part of Disney property in their own way. So you could reference Yellow Submarine if they want to bring the Beatles back, and this was the inspiration for Yellow Submarine. It's like, oh, we're going on an adventure with the Doctor. That's a terrible Scouse accent, but if I try and do it, it sounds a little bit too high for them. So yeah, you could have done like a Yellow Submarine with the Blue Meanies and Pepperland and the Apple Bonkers. But obviously this episode is not about Beatles legacy. But if you did want me to do an episode on Beatles, please let me know, because I'm more than happy to talk about them. I think they're the main sort of pros and cons that I can think of. I just think it was lacking something overall. So my overall opinion would be, it was okay. I preferred the opener, Space Babies. I think Devil's Chord has received a higher score on IMDb. I think Space Babies received like 6.5 and this has got a 7.0, I think, from last I checked. But it just felt a little bit lacking, and I think they could have played with the sound a lot more, particularly that it is more about music. I'd say the story was about music, and you could have just been, what would the world sound like if it fell silent? That could have been played with a bit more. But what did you think? What was your overall opinion on the Devil's Chord? So please leave me plenty of comments, because I'd be really interested to hear your guys' opinions of it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like. Do you wish that they'd gone to a different part in music history, say if they met David Bowie or Freddie Mercury? Do you think that the Beatles could have been used a little bit more? Do you think that George and Ringo should have been in it a little bit more? So let me know in the comments. I can't really think I'll add to anything else other than Henry has to come back, because it was very odd that he was by the door watching everyone. Yes, and the toy maker. Is the toy maker going to come back at some point? Not necessarily in this series, but are they going to come back in another one? Have Neil Patrick Harris sing along to the Spice Girls again. Da, 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 da. Because that would be cool. I enjoyed that. Yeah, this Doctor Who's getting very musical lately. Sorry. It's coming to the end now, but one more final thought. Doctor Who's getting very, very musical. Again, is this a Disney decision, or is this just because they've had a budget, a bigger budget, they can include more music? I wonder if that's Disney's input coming in. But anyway, I will now leave my thoughts here. It's a very strange review because I wanted to get more involved in it, but it's just one of those episodes where I will definitely have to revisit it, and I'll probably do an update review on it. Please let me know what you guys think, and to keep up to date with the latest Doctor Who reviews that will be coming onto the channel, please like and subscribe and comment. And for further Doctor Who content, Disney content, etc., then please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And I will see you next week for the third episode, which looks very, very interesting, of stepping on a landmine and not being able to move your feet. Very interesting. I'm excited for that one. Excited to see where it goes and how it plays out as well. So anyway, thank you so much, guys. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video with a fresh hot drink and possibly a very different mug as well. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.